£24 billion. That is the amount of benefits and financial support that goes unclaimed every year in Great Britain, according to Policy and Practice's Missing Out Report, published in 2025. Not 24 million, 24 billion, and the largest share of that unclaimed money belongs to pensioners. 1 in 3 pensioners is missing at least one benefit they are legally entitled to. The average household with unclaimed entitlements is missing £3,428 a year. Over 5 years, that is more than £17,000. This video is the one I have been building towards since this channel began. Every script in this series has covered one piece of the puzzle. Today I am putting the whole picture together. A complete checklist of every benefit, entitlement, and financial support available to people over state pension age in the United Kingdom in 2026. What each one pays, who qualifies, and exactly what to do if you think you might be missing any of it. Watch this one through. Share it with every pensioner you know. And if you have not done your own benefit check, do it today. The links are in the description, and every single service I mention is free. This channel is not affiliated with the DWP, HMRC, or any government body. Everything here is for education only and is not personal financial advice. Let us start with the most important principle of this entire series, because it shapes everything that follows. These benefits are not alternatives. They stack. Most people treat them as separate boxes and assume that if they receive one, they are not entitled to another. That assumption is wrong, and it is costing the people who hold it thousands of pounds a year. Pension credit does not stop you claiming attendance allowance. Attendance allowance does not stop you claiming housing benefit. Housing benefit does not stop you claiming council tax reduction. They layer on top of each other, and the more of them you can establish, the higher your total income becomes. The single most important question to answer first is whether you are receiving pension credit, not because it is the largest payment, though it can be significant, but because it acts as a gateway to a cluster of other entitlements that you cannot access any other way. Pension credit comes in 2 parts. The guarantee credit tops up your weekly income to a minimum of £238 if you are single, or £363.25 if you are a couple. If your income is below these thresholds, the DWP pays the difference. The savings credit is a separate element, available only to people who reached state pension age before the 6th of April 2016, which means anyone now aged approximately 73 or older. It rewards people who saved for retirement beyond the basic state pension and can pay up to £17.01 a week for a single person. But here is what pension credit unlocks beyond the payments themselves. If you are on pension credit, you automatically qualify for a free television license once you reach 75. You can receive your full rent covered by housing benefit if you rent your home. You qualify for a council tax reduction, in many cases a full exemption. You receive cold weather payments of £25 automatically in cold spells. You receive the warm home discount of £150 off your electricity bill. And if you have a qualifying disability, you may also be entitled to additional amounts within pension credit itself. Pension credit is the gateway, and it is the most underclaimed benefit in the country. The DWP's own take-up figures show only 62% of eligible households claim it. Up to 910,000 households are missing out on an average of £2,500 a year each. If you do not know whether you qualify, use the pension credit calculator at gov.uk/pension-credit-calculator. It takes 5 minutes. Or call the pension service on 0800 991234 free of charge. The claim can be backdated by up to 3 months. Now, let us work through the full checklist. Attendance allowance. If you are over state pension age, and you need help with personal care because of a physical or mental health condition, this may be the single most important benefit to check. It pays £76.70 a week at the lower rate, or £114.60 a week at the higher rate, entirely tax-free, regardless of your income or savings. You do not need to be receiving care. You need to need it. Around 1.7 million people currently claim it. Policy and Practice estimates a further 1.1 million pension-age households are eligible but have never applied, missing out on £5.2 billion a year collectively. That is the largest single unclaimed entitlement in the pensioner benefit system. To apply, call 0807 310122. Calling sets an earlier claim start date than downloading the form. Council tax reduction. This is separate from pension credit and separate from the 25% single-person discount. It is a means-tested reduction of your council tax bill, administered by your local council. If you are on pension credit guarantee credit, you typically receive a full council tax exemption. If your income is slightly above the pension credit threshold, you may still qualify for a partial reduction. Contact your local council or check at gov.uk. Housing benefit. If you rent your home and you are over state pension age, housing benefit can cover some or all of your rent. It is claimed through your local council. If you receive pension credit guarantee credit, the assessment is simplified and your rent may be covered in full. The DWP estimates 270,000 pensioner families eligible for housing benefit are not claiming it, missing out on an average of £3,700 a year. If you have savings below £10,000, those savings are disregarded entirely in the calculation. Pensioners are exempt from the bedroom tax. Free television license. If you are aged 75 or over and you receive pension credit, your television license is free. It is not automatic. You have to apply through TV licensing at tvlicensing.co.uk. If you think you may have been paying for a license you were not required to pay, you may be able to claim a refund for the period since your pension credit began. If you live alone and are under 75, a 25% single-person discount applies regardless of your benefit status. Apply at tvlicensing.co.uk. Warm home discount. £150 off your electricity bill each year. If you receive pension credit guarantee credit, this is automatic in England and Wales. If you receive another qualifying means-tested benefit, it is also automatic in England and Wales through DWP data matching. In Scotland, the broader group must apply to their electricity supplier each year, usually in September. Make sure your name or your partner's name is on the electricity account before the qualifying date in late August. Cold weather payments. £25 automatic for each 7-day period of temperatures at 0 degrees or below in your postcode area from November to March. Automatic if you receive pension credit or another qualifying benefit. Check your postcode at coldweatherpayments.dwp.gov.uk if you think a payment may have been triggered but not received. Now the Severe Disability Edition within pension credit. If you receive attendance allowance and you live alone with no one receiving carer's allowance for your care, you may qualify for an extra £86.05 a week within your pension credit. This is called the Severe Disability Edition, and it is not automatic. You have to ask the pension service to include it when they calculate your pension credit. For a couple where both qualify, the rate is £172.10 a week. This single element can be worth over £4,400 a year and is one of the least known additions in the system. Carer's allowance and the carer addition. If you provide at least 35 hours of unpaid care per week to someone receiving attendance allowance or another qualifying disability benefit, you may be entitled to carer's allowance at £86.45 a week. If you receive the state pension, the cash payment of carer's allowance is usually not payable because of the overlapping benefit rule, but applying still establishes what is called underlying entitlement, which unlocks the pension credit carer addition of £48.15 a week, worth over £2,500 a year. Apply even if you expect to be turned down for payment. But before you apply, do a full household benefit check, because a carer's allowance claim can affect the severe disability addition in the pension credit of the person you care for. Marriage allowance. If you are married or in a civil partnership and one of you pays income tax at the basic rate, while the other has an income below the personal allowance of £12,570, you can transfer 10% of the lower earner's personal allowance to the higher earner. That is worth up to £252 a year in reduced tax. It can be backdated up to 4 years. Apply at gov.uk/marriage-allowance. HMRC tax code and P800 refunds. If HMRC has the wrong tax code for your pension income, you may have been paying too much tax. If you have received a letter called a P800 from HMRC, it means HMRC has calculated that you are owed a tax refund. The average refund is over £500. If you have not received a P800, but you believe your tax code may be wrong, call HMRC on 0300 203 300. If you took a pension lump sum, you were almost certainly taxed at an emergency rate, which means you paid too much. The forms to reclaim are P55, P53Z, or P50, depending on your situation. National insurance gaps and state pension. Check your state pension forecast and national insurance record at gov.uk. If you have fewer than 35 qualifying years, each missing year can be bought back for around £957 and adds approximately £358 a year to your state pension for life. That is a break-even of under 3 years. Free national insurance credits are available for carers, grandparents providing childcare, and others. Call the Future Pension Center on 0800 7310 175 before paying anything. Married women's state pension. If you are a woman who reached state pension age before April 2016, and your basic state pension is below 60% of your husband's basic state pension, you may be owed a higher rate based on his record. The DWP has been correcting underpayments. If you believe you may be affected, call the pension service. The amounts involved can be substantial, and some cases have involved years of back payments. Council tax single-person discount. If you live alone, or if all other adults in your household are disregarded for council tax purposes, for example, if they have certain disabilities or are full-time students, you are entitled to a 25% reduction on your council tax bill. This applies regardless of income. Contact your local council. Free bus pass. The National Concessionary Travel Scheme provides free off-peak bus travel in England once you reach state pension age. Apply through your local council. Blue badge. If you have a severe mobility impairment or hidden disability, you may qualify for a blue badge, which provides parking concessions. Eligibility is not limited to people with physical disabilities and does not require attendance allowance. Apply through your local council at gov.uk/apply-blue-badge. Help with NHS costs. If you receive pension credit, you are automatically entitled to free NHS prescriptions, dental treatment, sight tests, and help with the cost of glasses. If you are over 60, NHS prescriptions are already free regardless of income. If you are on a low income but not receiving pension credit, the HC1 form may entitle you to help with dental and optical costs. Available from GP surgeries, pharmacies, and online at nhsbsa.nhs.uk. Now, the 3-step action plan that applies to everyone watching. Step 1. Do a free benefit check. Use the Turn 2 US calculator at turn2us.org.uk or the Entitled to calculator at entitledto.co.uk. These tools are free, anonymous, and take about 10 minutes. They cover all means-tested benefits and will show you what you may be entitled to claim. Step 2. Call Age UK on 0800 678 1602 or Citizens Advice on 0800 448 848. Both organizations provide free, confidential benefit check appointments with trained advisors who can review your full picture, including benefits that online calculators sometimes miss. They routinely find £2,000 to £5,000 a year of unclaimed entitlement for the people they help. Step 3. Share this video. The people most likely to be missing out are the people least likely to be watching a channel like this one. Your parents, your neighbors, your friends who do not use the internet much. A conversation prompted by this video is worth more than any of the phone calls I can prompt you to make, because it reaches people who would otherwise never know these entitlements exist. £24 billion unclaimed. £3,428 per household per year on average. 1 in 3 pensioners missing at least one benefit they are owed. The money is there. The question is only whether someone tells you it exists. You now know. The next step is yours.